Hello everyone and very good afternoon. So welcome back everyone in the new chapter of statistics. So welcome everyone and let's see who all are live with us now. So we are having Mohit, Vijay Kumar, Ishan, Bhargavi, Bhumika, Gunjan, Lakshita, Nikita, Sonali, Prateek, Diksha, Zeba, Rohini. Welcome everyone on the board and once again very good afternoon. So in today's session we have to begin with the new chapter which is index number. So index number क्या होता है, किसे हम कहते हैं index number. So index number is simply a ratio. Index number is formed just by comparing two or more commodities. When we are having two or more values available with us, then we can compare them and find out a ratio, which is basically index number. If we talk about practically, तो practically index number कहाँ पे काम में आता है? So normally we see in our daily life and we always talk about it like inflation. Inflation is 5%, 10%, 20%. यानी कि महंगाई की बात हर कोई करता है कि इस बार महंगाई 5% बढ़ गई या 10% या फिर 20%. So this inflation is calculated with the help of index number. So index number is a very useful tool which helps us to identify inflation. Similarly, it is used at many places like share market. If we talk about, we see NSC, National Stock Exchange, BSC, Bombay Stock Exchange, Sensex. So in that there is continuous movement of prices, price increase, decrease, increase, decrease. Buyers buy the share, sellers sell the share, and the graph moves on continuously. So that concept is again based on index number. So practically, if we talk about, this is a very much relevant chapter. All right. Now, what is the definition of index number? So let us begin with that. Let us write the definition first. Yes, so index number is a ratio or an average of ratios, which measure change in a variable over a period of time. Over a period of time. So this is the definition of index number. So if we talk about index number is a ratio. Now for calculation of ratio, we say minimum two values are required. One will come in numerator and other in denominator. So index number is a ratio and at least two values are required. If we have, let's say, more than two values, then what will happen? If more values are available, then of course ratios will also be more. So if ratios are more, then we can take average of those ratios. So index number will be average of ratios. Now what index number measures? It measures change. Change means increase or decrease. Now increase and decrease in what? In a variable. Now in this chapter, we will be studying mainly three variables, which is price, quantity, and when we multiply price and quantity, we get value. So these three are the main variables in this chapter, and the change is to be seen over a period of time. So what is index number? Index number is a ratio or an average of ratios which measure change in a variable over a period of time. All right. So this is the definition of index number. Now, now we have just read that at least two values are required, and that the time here which is considered, this time is considered as yearly basis. Normally we calculate inflation and all these on yearly basis, but it is not at all compulsory. Even it can be calculated on daily, monthly, quarterly as per our requirement. But here in this chapter we will be studying about yearly averages, okay, yearly index number. So now we can say that at least two time periods are required. Now what are those two time periods? So let us write here. Two time periods are required. One is known as base year and second is known as current year. One is base year and second one is current year. Now, what is base year? Base year is a standard point. Base year is a standard point for comparison. It is used for comparison. Just like we are having some ideal in our life. आपका लाइफ में कोई ना कोई आइडियल होगा. जैसे कोई स्पोर्ट्स पर्सन है, क्रिकेटर है, तो उनका आइडियल कौन है? सचिन तेंदुलकर. किसी के अपने एपीजे अब्दुल कलाम, किसी के नरेंद्र मोदी जी. तो इस तरह से हर किसी पर्सन का कोई ना कोई आइडियल होता है और वो अपने आप को उनसे कंपेयर करके वैसा बनाने की कोशिश करता है. Similarly, here also we have to compare all the year with one particular year which is known as base year. So base year serves as a standard point for comparison, and base year should be a recent year. Base year कैसा होना चाहिए? It should be a recent year, and also base year should be a normal year. Base year should be a normal year. Now, what is the meaning of the term normal? Normal means which is not abnormal. Normal means which is not abnormal, जो abnormal नहीं है. Now, again, what is abnormal? So, any year which is affected by, let's say, any disease, war, or flood, or any other case. So, just we can take example of COVID. So, 2021 was affected by COVID. So just because of that, we cannot consider that year as a base year because prices got changed too much. There was too much fluctuation in price, in demand. So we cannot consider that year as the base year. So base year should be a recent year and it should be a normal year. Okay. Now, secondly, current year. Now, what is a current year? Year which is compared with base year is known as current year. जिस year का comparison हम base year के साथ करेंगे, that is known as current year. All right. Now we have to know the notations, how we write. Like if we talk about the price of any commodity, so price is denoted by P and price of base year is denoted by P0. If it is price of current year, we can write P1. So 0 indicates base year and 1 indicates current year. Now at some places you can also find N in place of 1. So current year is also denoted by N. Okay, so price P0 and P1. Then if it is quantity, then we can write Q0 is the quantity of base year and Q1 becomes the quantity of current year. And then value V0 is the value of base year and V1 become the value of current year. So these are the basic notations. Then the next thing is index number of base year is always taken as 100. index number of base year is always taken as 100. It is fixed. So now if the base year index is fixed, then we have to calculate index number for which year? For current year. So by default हमें current year का index number calculate करना है. So base year is already fixed. All right. So now we can write it here. The methods. Now what are the different methods to calculate index number? There are different methods to calculate or to construct index number. So if we see, there are mainly simple method and second one is weighted method. Simple and weighted. So what is the difference between these two? Simple method means when there is no weight involved, there is no importance of any commodity. All commodities having same importance, whereas weighted shows the importance of commodity. Weight shows importance of commodities. So we can write it here. One example, like if we want to prepare tea. Now, what are the requirements? We require tea leaves, we require water, we require milk, sugar, and any other flavor which we want to add, like cardamom or any other masala, anything. So all these things are required. So we can write any flavor. Now we are having two methods now. One is simple and other is weighted. Now weighted shows how much quantity we have to add. Like tea leaves, it shows that 1 tablespoon. Water, we can say that like 50 ml water. Milk, we can write 70 ml milk is required. Sugar, 1 teaspoon is there. Flavor, we can write 2 drops. So now all these are the quantity which is showing the weights. All right. But if we are not taking weight, that means we are saying it is simple method, and simple method by default takes each and every quantity as in equal. Like if we are taking leaves 10 gram, then take 10 gram of water, 10 gram of milk, 10 gram of sugar, 10 gram of flavor. Take each and every quantity in same manner, same amount, same quantity. So this is simple. That means simple is not correct at each and every place. So it fails at many places. Therefore, the weighted method is introduced. So we have to study both the method, simple as well as weighted. But simple is having drawback because simple is not giving importance to any of the commodity, whereas weighted gives importance. Okay. So let's see what some students are asking. Nikita is asking, what is the standard point? Standard point, it is a point of comparison. This is a standard. Like whenever we want to manufacture something, we are having certain standards in our mind. कि हमें इसके जैसा प्रोडक्ट बनाना है, हमें ऐसी क्वालिटी चाहिए, so that is known as standard. Similarly, you can take one more example. Like you have given exam for class 12 and your result was, let's say, 85%. Now, what your parents will do, they will compare your marks with some good friends, those who are scoring 90%, 92%, and they will say you that you have scored less marks as compared to your friends. Whereas you want to compare your marks with those friends who have secured only 70%, 75% marks. So we would try to compare with other category of students. But here the comparison should always be among those students who are of same level. जिनका एक जैसा level है, उनके बीच में comparison होना चाहिए. तो हम ऑलवेज एक स्टैंडर्ड के साथ कंपेयर करते हैं कि हम इसके जैसे हैं और वहां से हम कंपैरिजन करेंगे. ऑलराइट. Manvi is asking, today's last class of stats. Yes, today's the last chapter of statistics. Adish is asking, I'm having calculator, having GST button. See, GST buttons are not required for our calculation. Okay. But instead of that, you must have other functions. So let us begin with the simple method. Now, if we talk about the methods, we are having simple aggregative method, simple relative method, then weighted aggregative method, and weighted relative method. So these are the four main methods to solve index number. Now, if we want to find price index number, if we want to calculate price index number, then there are two notations which are normally used. One is P01 and second one is P10. P01 and P10. So P01 is read as 1 on 0, 1 on 0, whereas 01 is read as 0 on 1, 0 on 1. So if we write it in proper way, so P01 means P1 divided by P0, because 1 is on 0. So P1 upon P0. Now, since index number is a ratio and it is computed in terms of percentage, we always calculate index number in terms of percentage. So in terms of converting into percentage, we can multiply by 100. We can multiply it by 100. So it becomes the basic formula for price index number. So P1 upon P0 multiplied by 100. So this becomes the basic formula for price index number. And if we talk about P10, it means P0 upon P1 and then multiply by 100. So this is not used for calculation of price index number, because we always compare current year with the base year. We always compare today with yesterday. We always compare today with yesterday and not with future. So for calculation of any ratio or percentage. So that is why P1 upon P0 is used for the calculation of price index number, and P10 is not used. Okay. So price index number is denoted by P01. So let us take one basic example of this. Let's say we are having some years 2015, 16, 17, 18, and price of some commodities are given. So price is 10, 12, 15, and then 9. This is the price. Now whenever we have to calculate index number, so there should be at least two time periods. One is base year, other is current year. So question will give you the base year. Question will always give you the base year. If it is not written in question which year is base year, then by default, the first year is taken as the base year. So by default, this 2015 will become the base year. Okay. So that means we have to compare all other years with this 2015. Compare all other years with this 2015. So let us calculate index number. So index number for this base year is always 100. So no formula need to be applied in this first year, because index number is always 100. Then now we have to calculate 2016. So 16 should be compared with 15. So now 16 is the year 2016 is the current year, and 2015 is the base year. So 12 is known as the price of current year, and 10 is known as the price of base year. So we can apply the formula. So P1 upon P0 multiply by 100. So how much we are getting? We are getting 120. 120. Similarly, now if we have to find out for the year 2017, now this 2017 becomes the current year and 15 is the price of current year. So we can calculate 15 divided by price of base year 10 and then multiply by 100. So how much we are getting? 150. So this again becomes the index number. And then for 2018, so 18 is the current year and 9 is the price of current year. So 9 divided by 10 into 100. So it is 90. So in this manner, we can calculate index number for each and every year. All right. Now here we have to see that what is the interpretation of this index number. If the index number in 15 was 100 and then it increased to 120, so it shows that prices have increased on an average by 20%. So there is 20% increase in price. All right. Then when index number increase to 150, then what will be the comment? So always compare with the base year. So from 100, it has become 150. So prices have increased by 50%. And when prices index number has moved from 100 to 90, it means that there is a fall in index number. So index number reduced by 10%. All right. Yes, so many of you have given the answer. Zeba has given, Bhargavi, Nikita, Chitrank. Great. So this is the basic for price index number. Now let us move towards the first method, which is simple aggregative method. Simple aggregative method. Now, till here, what was the formula for price index? So we have just written the formula P1 upon P0 multiplied by 100. Now, since this method is known as simple aggregative method, so we have to find the aggregate. Aggregate means total. So because of that, we will apply sigma. So sigma P1 upon sigma P0 multiplied by 100. Sigma P1 upon sigma P0 multiplied by 100. So this becomes the formula for simple aggregative method. All right, and in some books it can also be written as Pn. So you can also write sigma Pn upon sigma P0 multiplied by 100. So let's see for this illustration. So we are having 3 years 98, 99, and then 2000. 3 commodities are available. Cheese, which is according to 100 grams, egg is per piece, and potato is per kg. Now, here we have to find out the index number. So index number can be calculated as sigma P1 upon sigma P0. So by default, this year 98 is the base year. So we can write this is P0, price of base year. And 99 is the current year, so price becomes P1. So it is P1. Now we have to calculate the index number. So we will write P01 equal to sigma P1 upon sigma P0 into 100. So what is the total of this 99? The total is 24.6. This is sigma P1. And what is sigma P0? It is 20. So just apply the formula. 24.6 divided by 20 and then multiply by 100. So we are getting 123. So it becomes the price index number. All right. This is for the year 99. Similarly, we can also calculate for 2000. So index number for the year 2000. So in numerator, we have to write the total. Now the total is exactly the same. The total is exactly the same. If we see individually, price of cheese has increased, price of egg has decreased, price of potato has decreased, but the overall total is same. So because of this total, we can see that the index number will remain same. So 24.6 divided by base year 20 and multiply by 100. So index number will be same, 123. All right. So for 98 it was 100, 99 123, and for 2000 it is 123. So Bhumika says understood, Lakshita understood, Zeva, Nikita, Manvi, great. So this was the first method, which was simple aggregative method. Now comes the second method. The second method is simple price relative method, or we can say simple average of relative method. So it is simple average of relative method. Now, how to solve using this method? So using this method, there are two steps. The first step is always find price relative. Find price relative. And we can denote price relative by R. Second step is find the average of all the price relative. Let's say if we are having 3 commodities, we have to find relative for each and every commodity. And after that, we can calculate the average, that is P0, 1. So how to become sigma R upon N. So if this average is using arithmetic mean, then we can use sigma R upon N. And if it is using geometric mean, then we can use the formula for geometric mean. And the formula for geometric mean was nth root of product of all observations. Let's say if we are having 2 values, first relative and second relative, multiply and then find the square root. If there are 3 values, R1, R2, R3, then multiply and find the cube root. 4 values, multiply and then fourth root. So these are the 2 steps to solve using simple average of relative method. Okay. So let us take one example, or we can take this same example here. So we are having 3 commodities. The commodities was cheese, egg, and potato. Price was 12, 3, 5, then 15, 3.6, and then 6. So we have taken first only 2 years. First year was 1998 and second year was 99. 1999. Now we have to find out the relative. Now how to find this relative? This relative is nothing but the same formula, P1 upon P0 multiplied by 100. So this relative is simply the ratio of prices. In numerator, we are writing price of current year, and in denominator, we are writing the price of base year. So here we can say that to calculate relative 15 upon 12 multiplied by 100. So how much we are getting? We can calculate. Cancel by 3. 5 upon 4. So 25 into 5, it becomes 125. Similarly, for second figure, 3.6 upon 3 multiplied by 100. We are getting 120. And then for the third one, 6 upon 5 into 100. Again, we are getting 120. So this is relative R. So we have done the first step, that is we have computed R for each and every commodity. Now comes the second step. In second step, we have to find price index number using arithmetic mean. Then what we will do? We have to total, that is sigma R upon N. So what is the total? 365. So 365 divided by 3, because there are 3 commodities. So how much will come? 121.67. 121.67. So this becomes the index number. All right. So in this manner, we can calculate simple average of price relative method, and this is the index number. Similarly, if we want for 2000, we can calculate that also. So what is basically price relative? It is simply the ratio of prices of current year to the base year. So P1 upon P0 multiplied by 100. All right. So we are getting the final answer as 121.67. Okay. So this was simple average of relative method. Now, since we have seen that simple and weighted, there are some differences between them. Simple takes by default a same importance for each and every commodity, whereas weighted method will give different importance to each and every commodity. So that is why weighted method is much better as compared to simple. So let us solve using weighted method. So weighted aggregative method. Weighted aggregative method. Okay. Okay, so before doing this weighted aggregative, Hanu is asking how to do the previous question with geometric mean. So if we want to do with geometric mean, then what we have to do? Take under root, multiply all the 3 values, 125 into 120 into 120, and take the cubic root. Don't take square root because values are 3. So 2 values, square root, 3 value, then cube root, 4 values, then 4th root. All right. So now the next one is weighted aggregative method. So now weighted aggregative method means we have to assign some weight. So till now, the basic formula was sigma P1 upon sigma P0 into 100. But now we have to assign weight. So in case of price index number, we can take quantity as weight. So normally quantity is taken as weight in price index number. So this becomes the formula sigma P1 into Q upon sigma P0 into Q multiplied by 100. This becomes the formula. But here again comes one challenge, like which quantity we can take. कौन सी quantity हमें लेनी है, base year or current year. So based on this, there are 5 different formulas. So based on this, there are 5 different formulas. So let us write the first one. The first one is last pairs price index number. Last pairs price index number. Now, last pair ने क्या किया? Last pair said, I will take base year quantity as weight. तो last pair ने सोचा मैं किसको weight ले लेता हूँ? Base year की quantity को. So last pair took Q0 as the weight. Last pair ने Q0 को weight लिया. And according to last pair, what becomes the formula? So P01 equal to sigma P1 Q0 upon sigma P0 Q0 multiplied by 100. So this becomes the formula for last pair's price index number. Then second come Pache. Pache's price index number. Pache's price index number. Now Pache ने क्या बोला कि अगर last pair ने Q0 को weight लिया है, then I will take Q1 as the weight. So Pache took current year quantity as the weight. Pache took current year quantity as the weight. So the formula becomes P01 equal to sigma P1 Q1 upon sigma P0 Q1 multiplied by 100. Multiplied by 100. So हमने किसको यूज किया? करंट ईयर को. Then comes Marshall and Edgeworth. The third formula is Marshall and Edgeworth. अब Marshall and Edgeworth ने क्या सोचा? अब ये दोनों आए and they thought like base year quantity was taken by last pair, current year quantity was taken by Pache. Then they thought what we can take average quantity as the base. So Marshall took average quantity as weight. So Q0 plus Q1 upon 2. This was taken as weight. So we can write P01 equal to sigma P1 into Q0 plus Q1 upon 2 divided by sigma P0, then Q0 plus Q1 upon 2, and then multiply by 100. So this becomes the formula for Marshall and Edgeworth, because Marshall and Edgeworth took average quantity as weight. So now if we want, we can cancel 2 and then open the bracket to simplify. So it becomes P01 equal to sigma P1 Q0 plus sigma P1 Q1 upon sigma P0 Q0 plus sigma P0 Q1 multiply by 100. Okay, so this becomes the formula for Marshall and Edgeworth. Then comes the next one. So the next one was Dorbish and Bowley. Dorbish and Bowley's price index number. So now, Dorbish and Bowley ने क्या कलाकारी की? They thought base year price was taken by last pair, current year was taken by Pache, average was taken by Marshall and Edgeworth. Now they thought Dorbish and Bowley ने क्या सोचा कि हम पूरे last pair and Pache के फॉर्मूले का ही एवरेज ले लेते हैं. So they took arithmetic mean of last pairs and Pache. They took arithmetic mean of last pair and past shape. So P01 is equal to, what is the formula for last pair? So sigma P1 Q0 upon sigma P0 Q0 plus sigma P1 Q1 upon sigma P0 Q1. We can take 100 as common. Now for average we have to divide by 2. So this is half. This is half. So in short, we can write L plus P upon 2. L is for last pair, P for Pache, divide by 2. So this becomes the formula for Dorbish and Bowley. Okay, so you have to learn all these formulas according to the name, and all these formulas are very easy to remember because we have discussed which person has taken weight accordingly. Okay, now the last one is Fisher. Fisher's price index number. Fisher's price index number. Now Fisher ने क्या कला करी कि Fisher knows that index number is a ratio. Fisher was having knowledge that index number is a ratio, and for computation of ratio, the best average is geometric mean. So you might have read this in central tendency chapter that geometric mean is used for calculation of ratios. So similarly, in this chapter, what we can say that index number is a ratio, and the best average for this index number becomes geometric mean. Now, Fisher knows this idea, knows this concept, and he applied this in his formula. So Fisher took the average. Fisher took geometric mean of last pair and Pache. So we can write the formula sigma P1 Q0 upon sigma P0 Q0 multiply by sigma P1 Q1 upon sigma P0 Q1 and then multiply by 100. So for geometric mean, you have to multiply the two digits and then take the square root. And at last multiply by 100. So this becomes the formula for Fisher's price index number. And in short, we can write it as root of L multiplied by P. Root of L into P. Okay. So these are the 5 methods to solve under weighted aggregative method. All right. So out of these 5, which one is treated as the best method? So this Fisher's price index number is taken as the best method. Fisher index is denoted as the best method, or we can say the ideal index number. Fisher is known as ideal index number. So now, all these we have done. So let us take one question based on this. Yes. So from here, we can take some question and calculate. So let us take this one. So here, some of the values are given. Fisher's ideal index number we have to compute. What is given? Base year price, base year quantity, current year price and current year quantity. So base year price can be written as P0 and base year quantity as Q0. Then current year price is P1 and current year quantity is Q1. So now here we have to calculate all the four values. First one is P1 Q0, P0 Q0, P0 Q1, and then P1 Q1. So all these four values we have to calculate. So for P1 Q0, we have to multiply P1 with Q0. So 6 multiplied by 3 is how much? 18. Then 6 into 4 is 24. 9 into 2 is 18. And 1 into 3 is 3. Now we can have the total. How much is coming? 63. This is P1 Q0. Then comes P0 Q0. 4 into 3 is 12. 5 into 4 is 20. 7 into 2 is 14. And 2 into 3 is 6. Now we can add them and see how much comes. 52. This is P0 Q0. Next is P0 Q1. P0 Q1. 4 into 2, 8. Then 5 into 4, 20. 7 into 2, 14. And 2 into 5, 10. Now we can again add them. How much we are getting? 52. And the last one, P1 Q1. So 6 into 2 is 12. 6 into 4, 24. 9 into 2 is 18. And 1 into 5 is 5. So in this manner, we can calculate all the values. So how much is the total? 59. So now we can calculate. Let's say if we want to calculate last year's price index number. Last year's price index number. So what was the formula? Sigma P1 Q0 upon sigma P0 Q0 into 100. So how much we are getting? 63 upon 52 multiplied by 100. So this becomes last pair. Then similarly, we can calculate the second one, that is purchase price index number. So formula sigma P1 Q1 upon sigma P0 Q1 multiplied by 100. So accordingly, we can put the values 59 upon 52 and then multiply by 100. So Pratik has given the result as 121 for last pair. Okay. And what about Pashe? To solve for Pashe and also give the answer. Sagar is asking what is the page number of this example. Page number is 18.14. 18.14. Now the third one. Third formula is Fisher. Now for Fisher, you can apply the complete formula. So everybody is giving 113.46. Yes, so 113.46 is for purchase price index number. Now Fisher. So sigma P1 Q0 upon sigma P0 Q0 multiply by sigma P1 Q1 upon sigma P0 Q1, and then multiply by 100. Multiply by 100. And now we can put all the values. So 63 upon 52 multiply by 59 upon 52 and multiply by 100. So we can solve this and get the result. And alternatively, if we want, we can solve in this manner also. First write the value of last pairs, then for Pache, now multiply and then under root. You will get the same result. So Pratik has given the answer 117.3. Okay. So this becomes the Fisher's index number. All right. This was weighted aggregative method. So now let us solve some more. So now comes the next one, that is weighted average of relative method. This is the fourth one, the weighted average of relative method. So in this method, what we have to do? So in simple relative method, we have written two steps. Similarly, here also we can write the two steps. The first step is find price relative. Find price relative, that is R. The formula is same, P1 upon P0 multiply by 100. And then the second one, find P01. So how to calculate P01? It is sigma RW upon sigma W. This is exactly the same formula as weighted average. In central tendency, you have done weighted average. So this is the same formula for weighted average. So sigma RW divided by sigma W. So just we have to apply the arithmetic mean here and nothing else. So this becomes the formula. All right. So let's say some of the examples. So Harnoor has given all the answers. That's great. Okay. So now let me take one more example. So we can take year 2010 and then 2015. This is given. Prices are given for commodity A, B, and then C. 10 and then 15, 50 and then 70, 80 and 96. All these are given. Then quantity is given. Quantity is, let's say, 5, 3, and then 10. Or we can take 5, 5, and 10. This is given. Now, 2010 is the base year, so it is P0. 15, current year, P1. And then quantity. This quantity is nothing but the weight. So we can also write it as W. Now, according to this relative method, we have to find R first. So P1 upon P0 multiplied by 100. So for R, we have to compute 15 upon 10 multiplied by 100. We are getting 150. Then for second value, 70 upon 50 into 100, 140. And for the third one, 96 upon 80 into 100. So we are getting 120. This is R. That is the first step. Okay. Now what we have to do, apply the formula that is RW. R multiplied by W. So 150 into 5, 750. 140 into 5, 700. And 120 into 10 is 1200. Now total. 2650 is the total. And what is the total of weight? It is 20. So P01 equal to 2650 upon 20. How much will come? 132.5. So this becomes the price index number using relative method. So in this manner, we can easily calculate. So yes, many of you have given the answers. Divya Kumari says, amazing lecture, all clear. That's great. So this was price relative method. And one thing we have to see that do not multiply this by 100. Why so? Because while calculating relative, we have already multiplied by 100. So no need to multiply again by 100. So simply use sigma RW upon sigma W. All right. So everybody has given the comment, understood. That's great. So till now, we have done basically the price index number, and there were 4 different methods to calculate. First was simple aggregative, second simple relative, third weighted aggregative, and fourth one weighted relative method. All those we have applied. Now, before moving to the next concept, let us take a break of 5 minutes, and after that we will continue. Okay. Okay. So now we can move forward towards chain index number. So now let us take again some example according to us. So we can write two things. One is fixed base index number, fixed base index number, and second one is chain base index number. Chain base index number. Now, fixed base index number means price of current year divided by price of base year and then multiply by 100. So price of current year divided by price of base year into 100. Whereas in chain base, the price index is calculated as price of current year divided by price of previous year multiply by 100. So fixed base is what we have done till now, that is current year upon base year multiplied by 100. But in chain base index number, it is simply price of current year divided by price of previous year. तो हमें पिछले साल के साथ कंपैरिजन करना है. You have to compare with the previous year. So in fixed base, we can write P01 is equal to Pn upon P0 into 100, or even P1 upon P0 into 100. But in chain base, we have to write Pn upon Pn minus 1 into 100. So here comparison is always done with the previous year. So let us take one example, 2014, 15, 16, and 17. 4 years are there. Price is given 20, 24, 30, and then 40. So if we have to calculate fixed base index number, so the first year is always a base year, so index number will be taken as 100. So this 20 is the price of base year, P0. Now for 2015, price is 24. So this 24 is known as the price of current year. So we can calculate the index number as 24 upon 20 into 100. So it comes as 120. Then for 2016, 30 upon 20 into 100. 30 upon 20 into 100. So how much we are getting? 150. And at last, 40 upon 20 into 100. We are getting 200. So this is FBI, fixed base index number. All right, FBI. Now similarly, we can calculate CBI, chain base index number. Chain base index number. So here comparison will be with the previous year. So the first year is always the base year. So index number will be taken as 100. Now for 2015, 24 will be compared with 20. So 24 divided by 20 into 100. How much we are getting? 120. Now for 2016, so again 30 will be compared with this time 24. So 30 upon 24 into 100. And let's see how much we are getting. You can calculate and let me know what is the result. So we are getting 125, and for the last year 40 upon 30, and then multiply by 100. So 133.33. This is chain-based index number. So always in chain-based, comparison is done with the previous year. So always compare with the previous year. All right. Yes, so most of you have given the answers. That's great. So this was chain-based and fixed-based index number. Now comes the quantity index number. So just like as we have done the price index number, similarly, we can calculate the quantity index number also. So quantity index number will be denoted as Q01. Q01. So what is the basic formula? Q1 upon Q0 multiplied by 100. Quantity of current year divided by quantity of base year and then multiply by 100. So if we have to apply the simple aggregative of quantities, they can use the simple formula sigma Q1 upon sigma Q0 multiply by 100. So it becomes simple aggregate of quantities. Similarly, if we have to calculate simple average of quantity relative, then here also we can calculate relative. There it was price relative, but now here it will be quantity relative. So we have to calculate the quantity relative. How we can calculate? Sigma Q1 upon sigma Q0. Sigma Q1 upon sigma Q0 multiply by 100. So this, sorry, don't use sigma. Q1 upon Q0 multiplied by 100. This is quantity relative. And then to find out the average, that is Q01, we can use sigma of this quantity relative divided by n. Sigma of quantity relative and then divided by n. So this becomes the simple average of quantity relative. Now similarly, we can also use weighted aggregative method. Now to use the weighted aggregative method, we have to assign the weights. So in price index number, we have taken quantity as the weight. So similarly, in quantity index number, we can take price as the weight. So what will be the basic formula? Q01 equals to sigma Q1 into P upon sigma Q0 multiplied by P and then overall multiplied by 100. This is weighted aggregative method of quantity index number. Now, now which price to be used? If we are having last pair method, then use base year price. So last pair has taken base year price as the weight. So we can use P0. So this becomes last pairs. Then for Pache we can use P1. So Q01 for Pache, sigma Q1 P1 upon sigma Q0 P1 and then multiply by 100. Okay, so it becomes the second one, Pache. And if we have to calculate the Fisher then simply we can use the geometric mean of last pair and partial. So all these formulas are derived in the same manner, just we have to change quantity in place of price and price in place of quantity. Okay. So Harnoor is asking, this is our last lecture of maths. Yes, of course, because we are having the last chapter of the syllabus. So this was weighted aggregative of quantity indices. Now, if we have to calculate the value index number, so value index can be denoted as V01. So the formula for V01 will be sigma V1 upon sigma V0 into 100. Now, how to find the value? Value is simply price multiplied by quantity. So we can write sigma P1 Q1. This is the value of current year divided by sigma P0 Q0, value of base year, and multiply by 100. So this becomes the formula for value index number. All right. So now comes usefulness and limitations of index number. So just some basic usefulness, just we can read it out. So index number is basically constructed from samples, and samples are always having some challenges that error might occur. So whenever we are constructing index number from sample, some errors might occur. Then index number are based on selected items only. In practical life, we are having lots of items. We purchased lot of items. If we see our house, so we can see more than 500 items in our house. But for calculation of index number, we just take few 4, 5, 10 commodities and not more than that. So index number shows the broad trend and not the real picture. Then many methods are employed. So there are many methods and each method gives different result. So it creates confusion. Okay. Now, in spite of all these limitations, index number are useful also. So where they are useful? They are useful in framing the economic policies. So they are used in businesses. That is, in research, we can also use them. They reveal the trends and tendencies in making important conclusions. So they help us to reveal the trend, how the figures are increasing or decreasing, and we can conclude from them. Then they're also used in forecasting of future. Like if we are having current 5 years data, so what will be the sales of next year? What will be the profit in upcoming years? So all these we can forecast using index number. Then index number are also useful in deflating. Now deflating is a concept where we adjust the original data, where we have to adjust the data. Now how this is to be done, we will be doing in this few minutes. And then cost of living index number, it helps us to calculate the cost of living index number over a period of time. Now what is this cost of living index number? Cost of living index number. Also we can write it as consumer price index number. Both are same. Also we can write general index number. This is also same. Now for this, which formulas to be used? So there are two formulas which we have read. The first one is the last pair's price index number. that is P01 equal to sigma P1 Q0 upon sigma P0 Q0 into 100. So this was the first formula for cost of living index number. And second, there is one more formula, that is the relative method. Second one was the relative method. So these two formulas are used for calculation of consumer price index number or cost of living index number. So what is the formula for relative? Sigma RW upon sigma W, where R is known as price relative. Also, at some places you will find that sigma IW upon sigma W, and this I is nothing but the index number. This I is the index number. Okay. So this is the cost of living index number, consumer or general price index number. Jyoti Manji says, I enjoy your class. That's great. Great, Jyoti. So now we have to move towards deflating and then shifting of the price index number. So let us understand the deflating first. So if we talk about deflating, we understand this with the help of some example. Deflating of wages. So let us write one formula first and then take one example. So there is a formula for calculation of real wages. It is wages upon price index number multiplied by 100. So wages upon price index number multiplied by 100. So this is the formula. Now, what is the concept behind this? Let us understand. Like there is one year 2015 and second one is 2018. A person is having its wages 10,000 in 2015 and wages becomes 15,000 in 2018. Also, we are given index number. Index number was 100 and then it becomes 200. Now we have to find that. Now, since the wages of the person has increased, how much the person is gaining or losing. So we have to find out the gain and loss of the person. So in order to find out the gain or loss, we have to compare both of them. Now, in order to compare, we have to see that the inflation must be same in both the years. That means they must be on the same ground for comparison. So clearly, 2015 is having index number as 100. So this is the base year. Whereas 2018 is having 200 as the index number. So that is why there is a problem. So we cannot compare them directly. So for comparing them, we have to find out real wages first. Now, what is real wages? So wages divided by index number into 100. So in 2015, it is same as wages. So real wages are same as wages in 2015. But if we talk about 2018, so 15,000 upon 200 into 100. How much we are getting? 7,500. We are getting 7,500. So real wages earlier it was 10,000 and now it is 7,500. So how much is the difference? So difference is of 2,500 and the wages has decreased. The wages has decreased by 2,500. So there will be a loss. So this is a loss of 2,500. Okay, so in this manner, we can always calculate profit or loss. So So Rekha says, thank you very much. Great. Lakshmi says, I like your classes and enjoy learning, and you make maths easier for students. That's great. If all of you guys are finding this subject easy, that is a very good pleasure for me. So thank you so much everyone for this. Okay, so let us take one more example for the better clarity. So this time, year 2016, 2019, wages. Wages is 20,000 and then 30,000. Index number is 125 and then 150. Okay, this is given wages and price index number. So we have to find that whether the person is gaining or losing. So let us find the real wages. So wages upon index number multiply by 100. So let's see how much we are getting. 20,000 divided by 125 and then into 100. So we are getting 16,000. And for the second year, 30,000 upon 150 into 100. We are getting 20,000. So clearly we can see that real wages is getting increased. So there is a gain. So how much is the gain? Gain is of 4,000. Gain is 4,000. So in this manner, we can always calculate deflating of wages. That means how much is the profit or loss. All right. Zeba also says, I'm enjoying the class. Manvi says, it was nice being taught by a teacher like you. Thank you so much. Okay, so we have done this deflating. Now, shifting and splicing of index number. Now, there is one formula for shifting. And what is the meaning of this shifting? So let's say we take one example. We are having year 2000, 2001, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. Index number is given 100, 110, 120, 140, 160, and then 200. This is given. Now, in this case, we can clearly see that which is the base year. So since the index number 100 is in front of 2000, so year 2000 is the base year at present. Okay, and we have reached till 2005, and now we see that the 2000 year is the old year, and now we have to assume 2005 as the base year. So we want to shift the base year. We want to shift the base year from 2000 to 2005. So we want to shift this. So for shifting, the formula is given original price index number divided by the price index for the year on which it has to be shifted. जिस पे shift करना है उससे divide कर ले. So let us calculate shifted price index number. So for shifted, what is the original index number? It is 100. जिस पे shift करना है, that is 200, and then multiply by 100. And now we can see how much we are getting. We are getting 50. Similarly, for the second year, 110 upon 200 into 100, 55. Then for next year, 120 upon 200 into 100, we are getting 60. So one thing more can be done. It is better to take a ratio because we know that 100 is the index number for base year and we have to shift on 200. So divided by 200. So in short, we have to make half. If for every index number, we have to multiply with half and we will get the result. So 100 multiplied by half is 50. 110 multiplied by half is 55. Then 60. Similarly, we can calculate 70, 80, and for last one, 100. So in this manner, we can calculate directly the shifted price index number. Okay. Now comes the splicing. Now, what is the meaning of this splicing? Splicing of series means we are having two different series of index number. We are having two different series, old and then revised. These are the two series. In the first series, 1990 is the base year because index number is 100. In second series, 95 is the base year because its index number is 100. Now we want that we have to merge these two series because these two series are not comparable because in first series index number is base year is 90 and in second series base year is 95. So these two are not comparable because they are having different base year. So in order to make them comparable, we have to take only one base year. So if we choose 90 as the base year, then we have to calculate all these figures. That means you have to calculate all these forward figures. So it is known as forward splicing. It is known as forward splicing. And if we want to continue this, the revised index number series, in that case, we have to move backward. So it is known as backward splicing. So there are two types of splicing. One is forward, another one is backward. All right. Now, how to calculate this? So always in such cases, there is one year which is having common index number. Like 95. 95 is giving index number as 114.2 and here it is 100. So take this year for calculation of a ratio. So we have to calculate a ratio. And while calculating this ratio, take 100 as denominator. Take 100 as denominator and write 114.2 in numerator. So we have written this in numerator. Now, this will give us a ratio. What is the ratio? 1.142. 1.142. This is the ratio. Now, whenever we have to find the forward splicing, whenever you have to do forward splicing, multiply with the ratio. Multiply with this ratio. And whenever we have to do backward splicing, divide with this ratio. Divide with this ratio. So let us do the forward splicing first. So here we are having 102. So we can multiply it. So if you have to do the forward one, so 102.5 multiply by 1.142. So let's do the calculation. So we are getting 117.055. Then for the next year, 106.4 multiply by 1.142, we are getting 121.50. For the next year, we are getting 1.142 multiplied by 108.3, 123.68. Then for next year, we are getting 111.7 into 1.142, 127.56, and so on. So in this manner, this is the forward splicing. And if we have to go backward, then divide. For backward, we have to divide. So 100 divided by 1.142. So you can divide it and get 87.56. Then 102.3 divided by 1.142, 89.6. Then for the third value, 92, fourth value, 94, and then fifth value, 98. So all these are backward splicing. So as per the requirement of question, we can calculate index number for any year, whether it is backward or forward. So let me take one easy example so that you can easily understand. Let's say year 2009, 10, 11, 12, 13. Then there is a series of index number. This is series A and index number series B. So now index number series A is having 100, 120, and then 200. Index number series B, 100, 150, and then 180. This is given. Now you have to complete the series. Now, if the question says find out the index number for 2012 and 13, that means you have to calculate these two figures. So this is forward splicing. So first calculate the ratio. So there is one common year. So having values 200 and 100. So what will be the ratio? Ratio is 2. Now for the forward splicing, multiply with this figure. So 150 multiplied by 2 is 300. And 180 multiplied by 2 is 360. So this is 360. If the question says complete series B, that is find index number for 2009 and 2010. So divide them by the same ratio. So 100 upon 2, it will give 50. 120 upon 2, 60. Okay. So this is known as base splicing. So in this manner, we can easily do the splicing. Then comes the next one, test of adequacy. The last point, that is a test of adequacy. Now, what is the meaning of this test? This test is for formulas. The formula which satisfy majority of tests will become the best formula. The formula which satisfy all the tests or which satisfy majority of tests becomes the best formula. So there are 4 tests of adequacy. First test is known as unit test. This test says that the formula should be independent of unit in which price or quantities are quoted. That means if we are having some commodities in grams, some in kilograms, some in tons, liters. So if we change the quantity, the result should not change. The result should not change. So this is the condition for unit test. So for each and every test, we have to remember 2 things. One is the condition. And second one is which formula satisfies that condition. Which formula satisfies that condition. So for unit test, condition is only that formula should be independent of unit. That means अगर हम unit को change कर दें तो index number change नहीं होना चाहिए. So which formula satisfies? So except simple aggregative method, all other formulas satisfy this test. So except one, all other satisfies. Second is time reversal test. So time reversal test is basically based on P01 and P10. If we multiply them, the result should be 1. So whenever we multiply these two and result is 1, that means time reversal test is satisfied. That means 0, 1 means 1 on 0 and 0, 1 means 0 on 1. So whenever we try to calculate this and multiply, result is 1, that means we are correct. That means, let's say, if we have calculated for some figures P01 as 125% and P10 as 80%. So now we can apply this. So 125% and then 80%. So we can multiply them and see whether we are getting 1 or not. So if we check, we are getting 10,000 upon 10,000, that is 1. That means time reversal test is satisfied. So this is the condition. So now which formula satisfies? So it says last pair does not satisfy, Pache does not satisfy, Fisher satisfies. Fisher satisfies the test. Then there are some more formulas which satisfy the test, that is Marshall, Edgeworth. Marshall Edgeworth also satisfies this test, but last pair and Pache do not satisfy. Then third one is factor reversal test. In factor reversal test, there is the condition that if we multiply price index and quantity index, then we get value index. Then we get value index. This is the condition. So P01 multiplied by Q01 gives B01. If on multiplying the price index and quantity index, we get value index, that means factor reversal test is satisfied. Okay. So this value index, the formula we already know, sigma P1 Q1 upon sigma P0 Q0. Okay. Okay, so Shivangi says it's really easy. Jyoti is asking, today maths is the last lecture. Yes, it is the last lecture. Rekha says we will always remember you. Yes, of course. And also you can search me on Google. I will be there for you guys. Do not worry. Then the last one is, okay, the factor reversal test, we are having the condition price index into quantity index should give value index. Now, which formula satisfies this test? So there is only one formula, that is Fisher. Only Fisher satisfies this factor reversal test, and all other formula fails to satisfy this test. Now the last one is circular test. Circular test says that there is one condition that if we multiply P01, P12, P23 and comes back to 0 again, and the product of all these is equal to 1, then circular test is satisfies. So how it comes, like 0 and 1, 1 and 2, 2 and 3, and again we are moving towards 0. So first we calculated P01, then P12, P23, and again P30. And if the product is equal to 1, that means this is the condition for circular test. Now, which formula satisfies? The first one is simple geometric mean of price relative. Simple geometric mean of price relative. Second one is weighted aggregative with fixed weight. Weighted aggregative with fixed weights. So these two formula satisfies circular test. Now, overall, if we see of this 4 formula, which formula satisfies all the tests? Which formula satisfies all the tests? So there is no formula which satisfies all because Fisher does not satisfy circular test. Fisher does not satisfy circular test. Okay. So full marks किसी के भी नहीं है. 4 out of 4, no one is there. Now we can check 3 out of 4. Which formula is satisfying 3 tests out of 4? Now we can see only one name, that is Fisher. Fisher is the only method which is satisfying 3 tests except the circular test. So Fisher is known as the ideal index number, the best index number, because it satisfies majority of the formula. All right. Okay, Lakshmi is asking how to search you on Google and how to contact. So you can simply write the name CA Gaurav Chopra and I will be there on YouTube. And from there, you can easily reach me. No worries. All right. So you can simply search CA Gaurav Chopra. Okay, so now let us try to do some questions. So let us take a rapid fire question. A series of numerical figures which shows the relative positions is called. So it is a series of numerical figures and which shows the relative position. That means we are comparing and then we find the index number because index number is a ratio, and for calculation of ratio we have to relate one year with another. Then index number of days period is always taken as 100. Then dash plays important part in construction of index number. So of course weights plays the important part. Then dash is particularly suitable for construction of index number. So which is the best average for index number? Geometric mean. Index number shows dash changes rather than absolute. So in index number we see percentage change, and percentage change is known as relative change, or percentage change is also there. So correct answer will be both. Dash makes index number time reversible. So we can simply use geometric mean and we can say that it becomes time reversible because P01 into P10 should be equal to 1. Then price relative is equal to, so we known as P1 upon P0 into 100. So price of given year upon price of base year multiplied by 100. Then index number is equal to, it is equal to average of the price relative, because the first step was to find price relative and second was to find out the average of price relative. Then dash of group index gives general index number. So for general index number we have written one formula, sigma IW upon sigma W. So this is basically arithmetic mean. So we use arithmetic mean for group index number. Okay. Then circular test is one of the tests of course, index number. Dash is an extension of time reversal test. So in time reversal test, there is only 2 years, 0 to 1 and 1 to 0. But in circular, it can be n number of years, like 0 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 0. So there can be any number of years. So circular test is basically extension of time reversal test. Then weighted geometric mean of relative formula satisfies. So this is satisfied. This satisfied time reversal test. Then factor reversal test is satisfied by only Fisher. Last pay formula does not satisfy factor reversal, time reversal, or circular. So last pair does not satisfy all of them. So all of the above. So a ratio or an average of ratios expressed as percentage is known as index number. 16. The value at base time period serves as a standard point for comparison. So base is always a standard point for comparison. It is true. 17. Index time series is a list of dash numbers. So in the series of index number, what we will write? We will write index number. So correct answer is index. Then index number are often constructed from samples because we are having a lot of data. Now which data to pick and which data to leave? So we have to take samples. Then 19 dash is a point of reference in comparing various data describing individual behavior. So which is used, we use base period for comparison. Then the ratio of price of single commodity in a given period to its price in preceding year is known as. So we are comparing this current year with the preceding year. So it is simply, we can say, the ratio of price or the relative price, because we are comparing current year Pn with Pn minus 1. So it is simply the price relative or the relative price. So let us solve some calculative questions also, because most of the questions are theoretical here. So let me take some questions which normally comes in exams. Yes, like 16 and 17. Very easy question, but this appears in exam. If index number of price at a place in 94 is 250, this is the index number of 1994, and 1984 is the base year. Then on an average, the prices have increased by, so in base year, it was 100 and then it increased to 250. So how much is the increase? So there is an increase of 150%. There is an increase of 150%. Then if price of all commodities in a place have decreased by 35%, if prices have decreased, then we can say that 100 minus 35. So 65 will become the index number of that place. So 65 will be the index number. Yes, this one, 23 and 22 also, no, 23 we can take. So consumer price index number for 1957 was 313. So this is the index number. So let us write index number 313, year 1957. And for 1940, so we can write here for 1940, which was the base year. So index number 100. The average monthly wages in 1957 was 160. This was wages. And now the question is asking us the real wages. Real wages. So wages 160 upon index number 313 and then multiply by 100. So 160 upon 313 into 100. So we are getting 51.12. 51.12. This is the real wages. Okay. Then the next one. Okay, someone has asked question number 18. Yes, there is one term, linked relative. So this is the another name for chain-based index. This is another name for chain-based index. So what is the formula for chain-based index? Pn upon Pn minus 1 multiplied by 100. Current year upon previous year and then multiply by 100. Then 24. P0 Q0 is given and P1 Q0 is also given. And we have to find CLI, cost of living index number. So we have discussed two formulas under this CLI. So which one is getting applied here? So we are having all the values for last pairs. So we can apply the formula sigma P1 Q0 upon sigma P0 Q0 into 100. So we are getting 110. Option number A. All right. Then, yes, let us do question number 30 also. This is a good question. Question says, in 1980, the net monthly income of employee was 800. So in 1980, income was 800. Now the consumer price index number in 1980, so index number was 160. It rises to 200 in 1984. So in 1984, it is 200. Now, if he has to be rightly compensated, then the additional DA to be paid to the employee. So in such cases, we are given income for 1980 and 1984 is not given. So by default, we have to take it as 800. And question says that there is increase in index number. So how much additional DA should be paid to the worker so that he can be at the same level? He can maintain his own standard. So for this, always what we have to do, find out real income, or we can say real wages. So here what will be the real income? 800 upon 160 into 100. So it is coming as 500. And for 1984, the question said that we have to maintain the same standard. That means in 1980, if the person was having 500 as the real income, the same real income should be maintained in 1984. So in this manner, we have to calculate real income. In this manner, we can calculate real income. Now we can again apply the formula for the real wages. So real wages equal to wages upon price index number multiplied by 100. Now, we don't know what should be the wages for 1984, but the index number is 200 and real wages is 500. So by solving this, we get wages for 1984 as 100. So in 1984, the person should get 1000 as the total wages, but the person is still earning 800. Then how much additional amount should be given to him? So we must give 200 additional figure so that he can maintain his standard of living. This was the one way to solve the question, and there is one more way to solve. What is that other way? So we can see that income is same in these 2 years, but index number has increased. By how much index number is increased? So we can see that earlier it was 160, now 200. So index number increased by 40. So whatever change in index number is there, we have to pay extra money for that portion only. जितना इंडेक्स नंबर बड़ा है उतना ही हमें एक्स्ट्रा अमाउंट पे करना है. दैट मीन्स जब इंडेक्स नंबर 160 था तो वेजेस कितनी है 800. तो अगर इंडेक्स नंबर में 40 का चेंज आया है देन हाउ मच वी हैव टू पे. तो वी कैन सॉल्व दिस एंड गेट डायरेक्टली टू 100. So by this method we can directly calculate to 100. Okay. So Jyoti says, thank you so much for being my maths teacher. That's great. And Bhargavi says, when I'm studying, I'm cleared with the topics, but after some time I forgot some of the topics. And while solving the MCQ, please give me suggestion. See, this is one of the common problem that we always forget the things. If you are learning this chapter today, after 5 days, you might forget more than 50% of the topic. So one thing you should always take care is revision. Always revise the topics. What you have done today, revise tomorrow morning. Okay. And then second thing is make a formula notebook. Make a formula notebook or formula notes so that you can write all the formulas of the subject in at one place, and make a habit of formula revision at least 10 minutes before sleeping. 10 minutes before sleeping, you can revise those formula on daily basis. Just make a habit 10 minutes to the formulas on daily basis, and after a few days you will see that you remember all those formulas. And one of the most important hack to solve the question, especially in statistics, is always write the given figures. Always try to extract what is given in the question. So whether the question is having n, whether the question is having neta, the question is having mean, the question is having median, whatever the question is giving, just extract that thing. Once you extract, you can easily connect that with the formulas, and you can easily apply the formula. So it is one of the most basic thing and important thing to do for solving any question is maths or stats. Okay. So Pushpa says, very, very grateful for such nice teaching. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Pushpa. Chahal Soni says, thank you, sir, for giving best to us, and you are the best, and give me your blessings for the exams. Yes. So from my side, it is always blessings with you. All the blessings are with you so that you guys can excel in your examination and secure very, very, very good marks. Ustad Singh says, thank you so much for your teaching. Samir says, thanks, sir. Bye and miss you so much, sir. Pushpa says, your video always help us to remember everything. Zeva says, I will miss you for your teaching style is amazing and I understood everything. That's great. Vaishnav is saying, thank you, sir, for teaching, and your teaching style is amazing and topics are understandable after teaching. Thank you so much for all these compliments you guys are giving. Vanshika is saying, very nice teaching. I was able to grasp all the concepts. Bhargav is saying, thank you for the suggestions. Okay. So it was great, everyone, meeting and discussing with you all these topics, all these chapters. And now it's time for you to revise all these things and revise in a thorough manner so that you can score very, very good marks in your examination. So whenever you require me, search my name on Google and I will be there for you. Okay, so no need to worry. And till then, bye everyone. Take care and see you soon.